Okay, folks, morning all. Welcome to the briefing on Thursday, the 15th of October. So what do we got weather-wise today? Well, this is the overnight chart, and you can see they've sort of painted in these trough lines, lines of showers, and you'll see those on the rainfall radar in a minute. But midday, nothing appears there. We're just in a northeasterly flow. It's coming down, and it's not coming all the way down from Scandinavia. It's in this sort of high pressure flow, so it's not a bitterly cold northeasterly. It's probably quite tolerable, I would have thought, out there. It's going to stay like that for most of the day by the looks of it, and this high pressure looks fairly established for a little while yet, certainly the next 2 days before it begins to break down towards the weekend. TAFs from Farnborough, and that actually changed in the last half an hour. So they're now saying between 10 and 4 o'clock in 7 o'clock at night, 0108 knots. At times it's probably that on the airfield at the moment, but I think it's going to be a little bit more northeasterly than that on the ground, probably 030. 8 to 10 knots for most of the day. Scattered at 2.5. Well, it certainly isn't that at the moment. It will get to that, but there's quite a lot of low cloud at the moment. It'll take a long time to sort of burn off and start to go up. And sometime between sort of 2 and 5 o'clock, showers and rain. They are about to the east of us. I think we might be lucky here and miss them altogether. Upper winds, which is for the guys going down on the ridge, the stuff you're really interested in. 040, 20 knots seems to be the direction over a large part of the southeast here. So it's probably spot on for a
little bit east.
The south downs, yeah. It's pretty good. Weather-wise, it's the typical northeasterly in terms of split in the country. You're dragging in air off the North Sea, so you're going to have more cloud in the eastern half of the country and drier, brighter area to the west of us. Inside this cloud and underneath it, you can see that there are some showers at the moment coming down across Kent and also in across Cambridgeshire. Fingers crossed they'll just dry themselves out and they won't really be a problem during the day for us or the people going down onto the South Downs. Let's see how that goes. Right, temperature wise, probably about the same as yesterday. 14 degrees in the southeast. Didn't feel particularly cold yesterday. The wind was not that sort of biting, cutting into you wind, so it should be all right on the airfield. Top meteo, just showing it beginning to get vaguely soarable later in the day. That's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, with showers isolated in places to the east of us. Cloud amounts, they're just showing it turning into cumulus by 12 o'clock, and areas are spread out as well. I suspect that's probably going to be about 2,000 to 2,500 feet at best above Lasham. A little bit like yesterday, really. The key factor is the wind for today. And if you look at Top Meteo's predicted wind, it's showing around about 20 knots at flying heights around here. And the wind direction is northeasterly, so wind. It's probably just in that position where we'll talk about the setup in a minute. We're going to operate our winching operation down on 05, which is this way, which will pretty much be into wind today, and landings on either side of this landing area here or in here. And the aerotow operation will set up here on the runway where we normally would. So there'll be a split launch point, and it's a matter of communicating between the two operations to ensure deconfliction. And deconfliction will essentially mean not aerotowing here while there's a cable potentially in the air. Quite easy to do. There'll be somebody on the launch point, at the winch launch point here, and they can just confirm cables are on the ground. Regularly set up that way, it's fairly straightforward. Guys that are going to the ridge or coming back, you can land this side or this side, it'll be fine. You're well clear of the cables. Movements, 2 o'clock, isn't it? Is it still on?
1 o'clock, 737.
Yeah.
And one message from Parham: if you do need to land there, they may be able to give you an air tow retrieve. 129980 and land and steer off to the right, please.
Yeah. So the movement at 1 o'clock is part of the reason why we're not going to go on the main runway with the crosswind. Also, they've got Navajos in and out today, so it's just easier to clear off a fire truck and maybe a couple of gliders. Right, airspace wise, folks, those are disappearing off. Nothing down to the south of us. Very quiet, and I suspect it's going to be like that for most of the winter. So no NOTAMs that are going to affect anybody flying locally here or down on the ridges. Okay, so have fun flying today. One last thing, winching off 05 and 34, we do not allow the baby grobs down to operate off those runs. The ground is very, very soft. The ground clearance on a baby grob is not really enough to deal with those operations. So it's K21s and K13s only winch launching down there.